Hello everybody, welcome this time in the nature. Here I would like to share with you my next agile vlog, and I think this is really beautiful example forest which I'm in now, to explain you a little bit more about open innovation. And first I'd like to tell you a little bit about what open innovation, how open innovation can be visualized. So first of all, I'd like to bring you here to different trees, different species, forests composing of different trees. This is actually representing industry, this tree. It's very old and solid, if you think about this. This is the tree which represents, and I'm coming here close, represents investors, which are also hopefully solid. Then we go to other tree species representing more pines, which represent, in that case here, I have to find it, academia. And this means that forest which I'm in representing, or where different trees are growing, can represent open innovation, where open innovation is exactly composed of many different organizations, including academia, so universities, and industry and investors. So what is needed, if you can take a look now with me, what is needed to let these trees grow is common ground. And exactly that's what we are looking in open innovation, right? In academic, particularly industrial collaborations, we look for common ground. And this means that finding common ground is something which I particularly, as an innovator, look for, focusing on academic industrial consortia. And what you need, I mean, this common ground is something which you have to first, obviously in forest, this common ground has been made, right? But we in open innovation have to make this ground and cultivate it, right? To nourish it. And how are we going to do that? Of course, we meet each other. So we develop trust. But we also, what's important, develop common language. And I think this common language is something which is making this common ground fertile, is cultivating this ground. Longer we collaborate, this ground solidifies, this common ground solidifies. What else we need is definitely developing common language, and language which everybody understands. That's also a skill, especially if we think about academic industrial partnerships, right? Developing a language that we we can communicate science to non-expert, to investor, which can be non-expert, or to industry, which can be non-expert. And that's the vision of, I think, open innovation I would like to bring here. Really innovation which you could imagine as a forest composed of different trees, growing, right, on common and developing on common ground. And what I'd like to further elaborate, if we think about academia, investors, industry, so business. Recently I came across interview, which I will share link in the comment. It was interviewed by very, I think, very already established in the field business person, I think I would call it him this way, which was in the past director of Polish center focusing on bridging industry and academia, which is called Łukasiewicz Port. And I was very intrigued or actually what I've heard was much more than intriguing, because I agreed to certain things, but I also disagreed with certain things. And if we, if we think about position of industry, because in this interview he've been asked, how business should speak, or actually how business people should speak to scientists or academia when they meet on lunch, for example. He said something which I completely disagree, and I think that's really something which we have to break the stereotypes, that the biggest barrier between business person meeting scientist or academic is a lack of trust. And I think I completely disagree. As a startup focusing on creating such academic industrial collaborations, I think building trust is not the biggest barrier. This actually come across, at least from my experience, very relatively easily. But developing communication, which is interdisciplinary, can become very big challenge and very big barrier. So not per se building trust, but actually communicating, right? When scientist is meeting business person, what is also not mentioned in interview, that this person, I cannot, because of privacy reason, comment on his name, is also claiming that we should speak to each other when we meet business with science. We should speak our own language, and I think this a little bit is resembling situation which I take from the Bible, like a Babel Tower, where people were speaking different languages and nobody actually did not understand each other, couldn't communicate. So the relationship has been not built. So to point out here is that when academic scientist is meeting business, it's not the right answer to say and build this understanding also for academic scientists, that scientist should speak his own language and business person should speak his own language. So financial. So for example, if I would be business person, I would start a story and mention terms like liquidation scenarios, dilutive or non-dilutive funding, conversion rates, and so on and so on. This scientist would run away hearing these financial terms which business people operate. And that's not the way how you build collaborations. Every step is important, especially the early steps. So you, both business person, but also both scientists, should treat each other or should communicate with each other like they would speak to non-experts. Or I would bring, if you would explain it to grandma how you would do it. Both scientists is very important because it's building mutual understanding. It's mutual, and that's the stress I like to put on. So this is something which both academic scientists but also industry or business person has to keep in mind while meeting academia or business, if I would be academic scientist. So definitely not your own language, but developing non-expert language. Communicate to non-expert. And yes, if it helps you, talk to your grandma. I think that can help a lot, and grandma wisdom and feedback can help a lot too. If this was understood, what you communicate. So communicating science. And this is not just important for business persons, so entrepreneur, right? Industry and academia, but also investors, which many times can be non-experts. And the way you communicate your science really can make big impact, including financial support. So telling stories, and investors not just care about how you communicate, of course, that's important, but also who you are as a person. So definitely I am against, and that's why I comment about that, claiming that each of us, academic scientists and industry, should speak our language. And secondly, that the biggest barrier between science, between academia and industry to collaborate, to meet with each other, is not building trust, is communication, is interdisciplinary communication, finding common language. This is part of finding common ground, right? Which I'm standing now here. So this I'd like to share today, and I hope you now can more envision collaboration indeed like a forest of different trees, and they have common ground. They communicate with each other, right, through perhaps root system. We don't know about that too much, but probably they do if they grow in very dense forest, or forest with many trees, or ground which is feeding many trees. And that's the way I imagine also or visualize collaboration. Because my startup is also inspired by nature. So I think hopefully you will enjoy having this vision in mind, and my lessons about interdisciplinary collaboration, what to do to develop effective collaboration between academia and industry based on the forest, vision of the forest, mixed forest composed of many different species. Will be very valuable and bring you more towards perspectives. Now I start to understand that developing common ground in collaboration is one of the most important things. And this leads to very successful long-term collaborations. I also developed for those people from industry and from academia, which don't have experience and don't know how to start to develop this interdisciplinary, so non-expert communication, I developed Agile Team Building Workshop to let both academics and industry in this cross-functional academic industrial teams interact with each other. There are 4 sessions, and this really definitely helps them how to develop this common non-expert language, because this also can speed up the processes in terms of collaboration and bring really the science into technology or product which we develop as a result of this academic industrial collaboration together to the market. So from this beautiful location, I'm really happy that I'm here, because forest always brings me a lot of ideas and a lot of inspirations, but it also can be portrayed also from different angle in terms of structure, right, as a forest, to really imagine a forest, mixed forest, as a collaboration, industrial, academic, or academic industrial collaboration model, living model. So that's very important, living ecosystem. So from here, I'd like to give you warm greetings. And if you have any comments or any questions, please put it in the comments. I'm very happy to answer all your questions and all your comments, and see you next time. Bye.